What was?
Yeah, I understand, but let me see.
Give me some background.
I have to do a background to you for you to understand. What is Bay of Pig? Bay of Pig is a beach, period. And they landed in that beach, and all the Americans screw up. But anyway, they were expecting the underground to have an invasion. When the invasion will come, all the underground will rise and will be fight all over the island. You know, so the Castro Cuba couldn't attack or fight the invaders because it was all over an uprising. And for the uprising, they were supposed to send weapons. And they promised to send weapons by parachute. The Americans.
The Americans.
When you explain for que le
Shirley, Ima, Nili, Anili, Shota, Shilo.
Okay, what do you want me to explain?
So the Americans were supposed to send weapons.
And didn't send it. And we expect to be the invasion in Manatee, in Manzanillo place on the eastern part of the island. Everybody concentrated in the eastern part of the island. And the invasion was in Bay of Pigs. Bay of Pigs is in the middle of the country, on the south, in a very, very wetland area. So they couldn't, when they invaded, there was only two roads to go into Havana, into Cuba. So, I mean, they were easy for Castro to stop them immediately.
But you guys thought about in advance that the Bay of Pigs is the best way to invade?
Nobody knew about the Bay of Pigs. The underground didn't
That
even
time
know.
nobody knew about the Bay of Pigs. It happened to be.
They decided to go to Bay of Pigs without the knowledge of nobody in the underground.
So local fighters didn't realize that the Americans were going to invade through the Bay of Pigs beach?
No.
First of all, why is it called Bay of Pigs? How do you say it?
Because that's the name of the place.
Yeah.
What's it called in Spanish?
La Bahía Cochino.
La Bahía Conchino.
La bahía de los cochinos.
La Bahía Cochinos.
Cochinos is
En la
pig.
Sierra de Zapata.
Cochino, puerco, cerdo.
La Bahía Cochinos. Why is it called that? You don't know.
That's the name
So
of the
maybe
place.
there were wild pigs.
Why you call Havana, Havana? What do you call Puerto Rico, Puerto Rico?
Why you call Miami,
Why you
Miami?
call San Juan, San Juan?
That's what it is.
Well, there's reasons for that. San Juan was St. John.
No.
No, que San Juan no es San
You know, what
Juan.
do you know?
San Juan, es San Juan, que es San Juan.
San John.
Él quiere saber quién le metió el agua al coche.
Sí.
You ask why the name. The name is the name.
Why
I
are you
don't know.
calling Hicam? Oh, we know
There's a
the
reason.
reason. We know the reason.
This is puerta, but we are now, is puerta de tierra.
Why is Puerta de
This
Tierra?
is puerta de tierra.
It's a reason.
Puerta de tierra means the door of earth.
¿Qué es Puerta de Tierra?
Este edificio
¿Ah, sí?
está localizado, de acuerdo con el mapa, en puerta de tierra.
Ah,
The
no
door
sabía.
of the earth.
Ah, mira tú. Por aquí entramos.
Okay. So anyway, the Americans decided without to invade the Bay of Pigs.
The CIA
Yeah.
took all the leaders of the revolution. They put them in a room and they didn't allow them to do nothing. They didn't do anything about anything. And they controlled the whole thing. Came the ships, you know, a ship with the
The American ships.
American ships. I mean, controlled by the Americans.
Right.
Controlled by the Americans.
No, so tenete brigiro, but
One ship with the weapons, another ship with medicine, another ship a hospital ship, everything to support the invasion of 2,000 Cuban people
So 2,000 Cubans that were trained outside of the United
in
States.
Nicaragua.
2,000 Cubans that were going to fight Castro. They were trained by the CIA in Nicaragua.
In Nicaragua.
Were in the ship ready to invade.
And they invaded.
They did invade.
And then Kennedy had misgivings. Even they said, instead, you know,
They invaded through the Bay of Pigs.
to the Bay of Pigs. And then, because they didn't want to show that it was an American operation, the pilots, the Cuban pilots with very propeller planes, they had to fly from Nicaragua to Havana to support the invasion.
Okay.
The Cuban has mixed 2 seconds they were in the air, and they have only time to fight. The Cuban, when they arrived,
Oh, the Cuban Air Force had 2 MiGs. MiGs were Russian jet fighters. They were flying, which are jets. They would fight against Cuban
90% of
propeller planes.
90% of the pilots that were in the Air Force from Nicaragua were killed.
Were killed. So all the Air
Many
Force.
of them they couldn't even arrive. They dropped down in the middle of the ocean.
The Cubans only had 2 MiGs.
The Cubans has many mix. The Cuban Fidel Castro.
Yeah, Castro had 2 MiGs.
Not 2 mix, many mix.
Gotcha.
I mean,
You had the full
but
support of
I
the
said they're only in 2 seconds they were in the air. That's it.
Right.
And they have only time to keep on fighting because they're just landing and that's it. So that's, and then Castro, no, Kennedy, we sent an order to withdraw all the boats and the
Que
ships
retirar todo el mundo.
that were giving the support to the Cuban invaders.
So he dropped them off and withdrew.
And withdrew.
Is that bad?
The hospital ship, the weapons, the support, they didn't have more weapons. They fought until they
Only one
had
was weird.
more weapons.
Mommy.
That's it.
Now, ask Ernesto what he learned from this.
You have to have support.
Voykele, ask Ernesto. Now you can test him.
I heard everything. So.
You heard
They had
everything.
many MiGs.
Who's they?
Russians,
The Russians?
Cubans, Chavez, no, Castro.
Voykele,
Está bien.
test Ernesto. See what he understands.
Where was the invasion?
Cuba,
¿Por dónde?
Where?
¿Qué lugar? No sé más lugar.
around.
I know.
Hablamos en español el lugar.
I know Bay of Pigs.
Bay of Pigs, yes.
First of all, when are we talking about? What
Who
year?
were fighting against the Cubans that had propeller planes to support the invasion? Who were they against whom? Against what?
Battleships, ships.
I know.
The
Castro.
What?
They were against
Castro's.
Castro.
No. Against
Castro leads
the
Cuba.
planes. Whose planes has Castro?
Russians.
Russians, but what is the name of the
MiGs.
mix? Yes.
What year are we talking about? And what month?
November.
The year, I know, it's 1961. The month, I think, was
Octubre.
no, 61, between May and July.
Who was president of the United States at the time?
Kennedy.
Kennedy.
Correct. I'm not asking you. Thank you.
Sorry.
You know the information.
Yeah.
¿Quieres azúcar?
Ernesto, was Kennedy a Democrat or a Republican?
Republican.
Oh my God.
Actually, Democrat. I read the book.
Which book?
It was a,
What was Voykele's role in the Bay of Pigs?
he was a prisoner.
That's a role? You go to
You were a prisoner during the Bay of
He
Pigs,
was
Voykele?
he was like an underground guy who was gonna invade.
He was in the CIA. He was a spy.
Why don't you ask him?
He was in the CIA as a spy.
CIA was the Central Intelligence Agency.
You were a spy, right?
Well, I worked for the CIA.
Okay, it's spy.
I would say I was in intelligence.
Did you do a laser watch? Like,
We have some little cameras.
really?
Yeah. If they catch you with this little camera, you go to jail.
Did they catch you?
No, they didn't catch me.
So ask Efraim a basic question. Was the Bay of Pigs a successful invasion
No.
or not successful?
No.
No.
Why not?
Because all the planes died.
Oh no! Because when Kennedy was to give it, when the ships were supposed to like help like the people.
Thank
who
you,
were
Albert
fighting-
Einstein.
People were fighting Castro to give like support. Kennedy because Kennedy didn't want
Why
to
do
make it look like it was the Americans were like a part of this. So he sent the ships back,
Right.
and then they didn't have any support.
Now, let me ask you a basic question.
Me or Ben?
Why would Kennedy care to make if it looked like an American was invading or not? Why would he care?
You wanted
So
to
Cas, so
Oh, it was
Cas,
Russians.
Ernesto's correct.
They weren't.
Why would he care? What
They
did,
don't like the Russians.
he didn't like the Russians, and what were the Russians' involvement
And
then?
the bombs, missiles.
atomic bombs.
Atomic. It has to
Where the
do.
missile crisis started.
This is when there was something very famous called
Cold
the
War.
Cuban Missile Crisis, and this was one of the beginnings
Russia
of
was
it.
giving Cuba missiles.
Correct. Russia was giving Cuba missiles,
Tiene cóctel de fruta.
nuclear missiles, right?
Right.
¿Quieres frutas?
No,
Does Cuba still have
Yo
nuclear
no
missiles?
quiero.
No, that was
You want
You want
fruits?
fruit?
Fruits?
Fruit cocktail.
Fruit salad?
No,
cocktail.
I heard you.
no.
You want? No, gracias.
Tomorrow morning.
We just came back from Shul, Rosh Hashanah.
I was
Unfortunately, we got very bad news. Dean's father-in-law passed away, Rachel's father, and we all called to wish them a
Who's more sad, Dean or
Condolences.
Rachel?
Rachel.
Rachel's her father for sure.
Father.
But it seems like Dean is more sad.
Dean is very sad too. It's
Sad.
his wife and his father-in-law, and it's very sad.
It's sad to see Rachel sad.
How long have they been married? Like 7
They've been
months?
married 9 months. January, no, January 6th.
feels like
January 13th.
yesterday.
9 months? No,
Today I
8
went
months, 'cause
scuba
it's
diving
January,
with
February, March,
them.
April, May, June, July, August,
Snorkeling with
September,
Ernesto.
9 months.
And Benchuk saw his friend. What's your friend's name?
Jacob
Jacob Duenas. They played. Well, La Boyut. Thank you. All of your shirt. That was very nice.
No, every time I saw a person who was Chris, he's like, oh, he's drunk, he's drunk.
That was Jacob.
Yeah, I know, so
Qué
are you.
fácil, hija.
Sí, eso lo tenemos. Yo quiero ir a Cuba. ¿Cuándo vamos a Cuba? I wanna go.
I've never been to Cuba.
Yo no he estado en Cuba.
¿Quién?
Yo. Ellos tampoco.
I've been to Cuba, what are you saying? I'm on a field trip. Let's go, bro.
Cuba,
I'm in
si te
Mexico.
vas fuera de los áreas a turistas, es como Haití.
Pero no he estado en Haití.
Pobreza infinita.
Yes, sir.
Is Castro still alive? Yes.
Ernesto, please take your pants and hand them because we need them tomorrow morning. Please.
But Castro's still alive, right?
Ernesto, we need
Is he
those
still the
pants tomorrow.
president of Cuba?
Please.
retired from being from.
Papito, te pedí bonito.
Is she still bad, Abba?
Put them on my bed.
Abba, is he still bad?
Is it still bad?
And the socks I need also.
Yeah. Like, still democracy?